Hey, good morning. Hello. I've got a friend, Jason. I talk about him sometimes on this on these get ready with me's. But anyway, my friend Jason, I just turned my son's off my laptop. He never says good morning. He's American. So he always says, Great morning, Faye. Oops, my TikTok just turned off. Because my phone went into some weird mode. Let's try again. Good morning, you fabulous bitch. Thank you. What's up, guys? Let me just go live here so I can share this gold with everybody. Right, so it's going to be a short one today because we've got to get on, gotta have some breakfast, and then we've got to get on a call with our lovely, beautiful photo shoot ladies. And yeah, this is early for me. 8:30. I'm normally still in bed because I work late. But yeah, up early, gonna have breakfast, gonna get that call, and I'm like really obsessed at the minute with this course that I'm doing. This course that I spoke about the other day, this Marley Jack's course that my mentor paid for, and I never did it, and now I've started. Hey guys, when you're popping in here, say hello. I want to see you. If you're watching on the replay, say replay. I want to see you. Yeah, so I've been doing this course. I'm really enjoying it. I love marketing. I love content. I freaking love it. And that's what it's all about. So anyway, yesterday I was going through a couple of my fitness pals, and obviously protein is like the number one thing that you need, right? Like there's no battle. If you're going to tone up, you need protein, and typically people need more protein because people do not eat enough, and partly because it's the way we've been brought up, and partly because it's not as tasty as highly palatable, highly processed chocolate bars and pizzas and stuff like that. So I know I was going through my fitness pal looking at what they're eating, because even if you pay for a coach, even if you are hitting your macros, sometimes the quality of those macros are not quite right. And that can be the difference between dropping weight and dropping water weight and dropping bloat, maybe, and not. Okay, so I was going through, and this happened a few months ago also with a different client. So I thought I would talk about it today. But basically, a couple of people are eating 2 to 3 protein powders or protein bars or protein whatever a day instead of hitting the macros through whole natural foods. So I will say whey protein or whey isolate or any kind of protein shake is unprocessed compared to things like a protein bar, right? It's got less stuff in it, less sugars, for example, versus a protein bar. It's normally around 100-ish calories or 25 grams of protein versus a protein bar, which is more like sometimes like 250 calories for the same amount of protein. And obviously then, like I say, you've got your other things, you've got your fats in there, you've got your chocolate, you've got your sugars. And honestly, I just don't like the texture of a lot of protein bars. I think there's only like one or two that I'll eat. The Grenade Oreo bars, I like those. And the barbells, I can't really remember which one it is because I have them so rarely. But the rest of them, do you know what I can do? I can do without. I'd rather have like some oats, protein oats or something. So if you're, well, let me go back. The girl I looked at a couple of months ago, her food target was around 1,600, and she was eating over 500 calories of protein bars and protein stuff, right? So it means almost a third of her food was coming from supplements. They are supplements, guys, to supplement your diet, not core staples for your diet. They're not called protein core staples, they're called protein supplements to supplement your diet, which means that the majority of your diet should be whole natural foods, and that's where most of your protein should be coming from, not a third from bars, right? So it's just like, I guess, saying protein aside, it's a bit like saying, well, I eat most of my food from a packet. I eat crisps, I eat chocolate, I eat microwave meals. Like they're not great, are they, guys? So it's going to be the same when it comes to protein bars. Just because it's got with protein in doesn't mean that it's a substitute for actual food. So anyway, that was a couple months ago, and then last night when I was looking at some more girls' diaries, similar, 2 to 3 supplements a day, protein supplements a day. So I'm not saying do not have them. Okay, I eat protein powder every single day, but I use 1 scoop a day. Partly because it's difficult to get protein here where I am, whereas back home, sometimes I don't use it a lot of the time. Like I very rarely use it back home because I know I can get lean minced beef, and I know I can get different types of chicken, and I know I can get turkey bacon if I really wanted to. But obviously, in different countries, you're going to get different amounts of stuff. So, how do you hit your protein target then? If you're saying, Faye, you shouldn't be having as much supplemental foods, then how should I be getting it? So let's say, to understand your protein target also, right, guys, is roughly, generally, 1 pound per gram of body weight. So let's say you are 140 pounds, you're 10 stone, bang on. You should be aiming for 140 grams of protein, 140. Most women, when they come to us, hit around 80 grams, if that. If we're lucky, they will eat 80 grams of protein. So it's a really big gap between where you are and where you need to be. So do not jump. That is the first rule. Do not jump to where you need to be, because you will be constipated, you will not have fun, your digestion will be like, what the hell is happening here? So you need to slowly build it up. Just like, imagine going into the gym for the first time and going into the squat, going into the bar, and you saying, well, I want to get to 100 kilograms, so I'll just chuck 100 on the bar. What would happen? You collapse, right? It would not be a fun time. So just like that, you need to build up your resistance, your tolerance to it. So now you've got your protein target. There are caveats, like if you are over, I normally say 180 to 200 pounds. If you're over that, I would drop the target down to about 160. But I'm just speaking like kind of generically here. Again, if you need to know how much protein you should be eating, just by eating more is probably the best thing you can do. All right, so then, Faye, if I'm supposed to get 140 grams of protein, but you're telling me not to have protein bars and protein yogurts, that's another thing. Everyone loves the little yogurts, but honestly, they're not as good for you as a chicken breast, right? They're processed, they've got extra stuff in, and yes, they are nice for like a little pick-me-up or a dessert, but you shouldn't be using them to get your protein in. So what should I be having instead then, Faye? Well, first off, you should be pre-planning your meals. You shouldn't be going, what should I have for dinner tonight? You should already know. And some people are like, oh, I don't like doing that. I like to be spontaneous. Do you like being fat? No. That's why you listen to this. And so this is something else as well. I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, I don't like to cook. And I also don't like to do this. And I don't like to do that. And I'm like, well, you want to stay where you are then? If you don't want to change, you're going to stay where you are. Just because you ask a professional for advice does not mean you can magically, and they tell you what to do. You can't like do the same things you've been doing, have the same lifestyle, but expect to have different outcome. It's impossible. X equals Y, right? You keep eating shit, you keep gaining weight. That's what's going to happen. And so you've got to get over the fact that sometimes food is not all about the hedonistic value, we call it. It's not just about enjoying it. Sometimes food is just about eating because you've got to hit your protein target. Okay? And we've got to come to accept that. We've got to stop fucking freaking out about, oh, I don't fancy that this day. Well, do you know what? I don't fancy trying to squeeze into my jeans and my shorts in the summer, having to like jump and yank them up at the same time. I don't fancy that. I would rather sort out my meals and just suck up, not loving the variety for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and actually getting into my jeans, sliding into them, and being able to wear what I want to versus what I feel like I have to hide my body. So if you want to keep hiding your body, that is cool. You don't need to listen to this. If you actually want to make progress, here's what you need to do. Let's say your target is 140. You need to plan your meals in advance. So let's start with breakfast. This is the way I do it, right? And this is why I recommend all of our clients do it, especially the photo shoot girls. So let's say 140. I would go into breakfast and I would put in what I'm going to have for breakfast tomorrow. I will put in the protein source first. Eggs. You could do egg whites if you wanted. You could do protein, what's it called, like a Greek yogurt if you wanted to. Whatever you fancy. But I would stick with eggs. Personally, they're nice and easy. They're versatile. So even if you do get bored, you can have poached one day. You can have like fried another day. You can have coddled. You could have omelette. You could have scrambled, boiled, whatever, right? You can have it so many different ways. So that's what I put in. And then maybe if I'm back home, I'll have a bacon medallion also. So I buy a full piece of bacon and I cut the circle part out because the rest of it is fat and I'm trying to eat a low calorie diet, right? So I'll have that for breakfast. And if I'm feeling fancy, maybe I'll have some baked beans. Yes, they've got more sugar in, but they also have protein in. So I would maybe cut them as protein as well. And then I would move on to lunch. Okay, well, what can I have for lunch? Typically, my lunch is a pre-workout, actually, because of just the time I go to the gym. So I don't have lunch per se. I have like a pre-workout and a post-workout around lunchtime. So before I go to the gym, about an hour or so before, I'll eat oats. And this is where I put my protein powder in. So I'll have protein powder. So I'll have like eggs, bacon, protein powder. Then for post-workout, I normally have tuna. So I'll put a tin of tuna in. And then for dinner, I'll normally have like chicken or beef mince. I don't really eat pork very much apart from bacon, so I won't use that. But I put in the meat sauce for my dinner as well. And then if I'd go into MyFitnessPal and I'd look at the macros for the day, just having put in my protein. If I'm at 120-ish, great. Then I'll go through and I'll just start adding my vegetables. But if I'm at like 80, for example, then, hey, Donnie, if my protein's at like 100 or less, then what I will do is actually go back in and add in a snack. Maybe I'd add in like some Greek yogurt or after dinner, or that's not what I would do. Or you can up the protein that you're eating elsewhere. So instead of like 100 grams of chicken, maybe I'd have 150. Instead of 2 eggs, maybe I'd have 2 eggs and 2 egg whites, or 3 eggs, or whatever, to get me up to around 120, okay? Once I've hit 120, so I keep manipulating this until I hit 120. Remember, I've only put protein sources into MyFitnessPal right now. And once I've hit 120, so around 20 grams short. So if your goal is 160, you want to get to around 140. If your goal is 120, you want to get to around 100. And don't forget, I've only used one protein scoop or protein supplement here as well. And then once I've hit 20 short, I'll go into my fiber. So that's when I'll go back through my breakfast. I'll add in my vegetables. So I always have mushrooms and tomatoes. Sometimes I have asparagus, avocado, peppers, like depends on what I'm having, how much time I've got. But I generally have those kinds of things. So I'll put them in. Then I'll put in my my fiber source for my protein oats. Remember, the oats aren't in there yet. It's just protein powder. So my fiber source there, maybe I could have some seeds in there. Oats also have fiber in, but I wouldn't count them as my fiber source. So I would put my seeds in there. Chia seeds, typically, that's my favorite. That's my go-to. They're easy, they're small, they don't taste like anything, and that's good. Afterwards, when I have my tuna, sometimes I'll have mixed veg with it, because I'd rather do that than have a salad with it. But if you have a salad, you can put your salad in there. And then for dinner, with my chicken or my mince, whatever I'm having, I will then put my veggies in there as well. So this way, I've hit my protein target and I'm making sure that I'm getting a good amount of fiber in. Notice I did not use a fiber 1 bar and I didn't use a fiber supplement. I just used whole natural foods, fruit and veggies. Oh, and then if I have my snack, if I have a Greek yogurt, then I will put strawberries with it. Some people like to put nuts in. It's a really good sauce as well, but I don't like nuts, so I don't do that. And then once that is done, now I've hit around 15, 20 grams of fiber. I've hit 120, 140 grams of protein, because nuts will have protein in, seeds will have protein in, veggies will have protein in. So you're already like topping up the protein through the fibrous carbs that you're eating. And once that is done, so now I've hit my protein, I've hit a fiber goal, which are the two things you really need to lose weight and not have a sugar crash or like a sugar cravings or a binge in the night. Then I would go through and add in 2 starch carbs, guys. 2 starch carbs a day. That's all you need. You do not need to be eating like, oh, well, I'm going to have toast for breakfast, and then I'm going to have a jack potato with my tuna, and I'm going to have some oats with my oats, and then I'm going to have some rice with my dinner. Pack that in. Right? This is why you're struggling. This is why you're overweight, and this is why you can't hit your protein, because you're so obsessed with starch carbs that you feel like you can't survive without them. I'm not saying never have them. And sometimes, depending on your goal and your calories and all that kind of stuff, you can have 3 a day. But if you start with 2, that is going to be, first of all, way easier for you to hit your goal. And you're going to start to understand that actually you don't need that many carbs a day to enjoy yourself, or first of all, you shouldn't be using food to enjoy yourself. But you don't need it to survive. You don't need it to make a meal, right? You don't have to have starch carbs at every meal. So I'll go through and I always have toast. Always have toast for my breakfast, because I like poached eggs, but I don't like to eat eggs off a plate, basically. So I like to have them on like some bread, or if I'm back in the UK, I will have one of those protein bagels. Love them. And then I'll have my oats for lunch, pre-workout. And maybe that'll be it. Maybe that's all my carbs for the day. Grey hair, man. Or if I've got calories left, then maybe I'll have rice for dinner or some sweet potatoes, put them in the air fryer and have like sweet potato fries, that kind of thing. But that's only if I've got calories left. If I don't have calories left, I suck it up. I don't have them. So what if, say, I've put in my meat, I've put in my like eggs and all that, I put my core protein sources, and I've upped the serving size, but I'm still not hitting my protein target. Then this is where you can have like protein stuff, but they're not supplements. They're not like protein yogurt. They are like a bagel that has got extra protein in, or it's Italian cheese, or just cheese, like a low calorie cheese. It's going to have more protein in, but less calories in. So this is where you're looking for like to top up things, but not add in a yogurt or a bar. It's not an alternative. It's an addition to your meal that you're currently eating, okay, or you've got planned out. So this way, you get to hit your protein target, you hit your fiber, you've got a good variety of vegetables, fruits, everything, plants in there, and you haven't depended on a shit ton of protein bars, protein yogurt, and all that kind of jazz, which are fine now and then. Just use one a day. You don't need any more than one a day, if that, right? You don't want to be dependent on them. You don't want to use them as a treat. Stop doing that. Pack that in. Right, that is it, guys. That is literally how I hit my macros every single day. This is how I do it from, even photo shoot prep. Like, this is how I do it. When I want to look in really, really good shape, this is what I do. So it's very simple, but you do have to put that time in. And if you don't want to put the time in, you don't want to eat boring meals. Yes, we'll talk about zhuzhing them up maybe tomorrow or another day. But if you don't want to change what you're eating, you can't expect to change your physique. I'm just going to be honest with you. So I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you've got any questions at all, and I will see you guys tomorrow.